So of these young teams that are emerging in the league this year, which ones in your analysis of these young players, these G League players, these rookies, which one do you think is the most sustainable among those potentially young teams that might be surprises, teams like the Cavaliers, teams like the Memphis Grizzlies this year, teams like that have really shown off this year?
The Cavs are really interesting because they've kind of done everything right. They've put in the pieces, and then they have a guy like Kevin Love who everybody wrote off. But the thing is, they wrote him off as a star, right? And now he's kind of coming into this role as a sixth man, and he could be sixth man of the year, especially if they really make that run towards the playoffs. It's kind of the role that old Knicks fans, like the ones that have suffered with the Knicks for recent years, it's kind of the role that they wanted Carmelo Anthony to step into, that sixth man, that big scoring boost off the bench role that could kind of lift up the young guys who came in with the energy, right? So I think that's what the Cavs are doing. And I think if you look at what the Thunder are doing, Gilgeous-Alexander is an amazing player. Josh Giddey just had a triple-double the other night. And the picks are just going to keep on rolling in for this team. I mean, that organization, they've stockpiled the draft picks, and they're just going to keep building and building, and they're going to be the envy of the league. If they aren't right now, very soon.
Absolutely. So now, since we're on the G League, are there any guys currently in the G League that you're looking at going, when's this kid going to get a shot? Like, why is no one calling him yet? And who's the guy that you said, he's going to be special when he gets in the league?
Kiefer Sykes, G League product, was just called up by the Pacers last week or maybe like 10 days or so ago, had 22 against the Knicks last night.
That's not saying much.
Hey, he's living the dream, right? He comes in, that's going to be a memory he has forever. So, I think right now it's the time of the veterans, actually, like the G League veterans. I think a guy who, like Justin Anderson, he's also on the Pacers. He just got called up. He's a familiar name because obviously NBA fans know him from his little bit of experience, but he's been humbled. He had to go to the G League. He's hungry, and he's more mature and more experienced to kind of make that next redemption tour. So I think that's the kind of guy that you look out for. And then the G League Elite is full of guys who are going to be drafted next year. Jalen Green, the second pick of this NBA draft, came from the G League last year. So if you look at that team, you're going to kind of see the next wave of prospects coming up.
We are talking to founder of The Who's Got Next NBA G League newsletter, Keith Schlosser. Now, Keith, last question for us, and I know you're very, very busy. We don't want to ruin your busy nights. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have children. You don't want to look at us, and you definitely don't want to look at Tyler. I mean, even with when you look at both of you, what am I going to say?
Careful.
What am I going to say?
I'm very afraid of where you're going.
Where am I going?
I don't know.
What is this attack? I mean, I'm going to say that he's a more attracted man than you.
You hear that? You're being hit on now,
Keith,
too.
Look at that, man. I'm giving you a compliment. He thinks I'm going to attack you. You see this?
He attacks everything.
Listen, all I'm going to say, and you don't have to, you look at me and all I'm going to say is hair is sometimes overrated, right? So I'm with you, but you overcome it, you make the best of it. So I'm with you.
Two of my best friends are bald, okay? And they get women. So I can tell you that. So there's nothing wrong with being bald, except if you're not better being bald. And Tyler doesn't look like the type of guy that would look good being bald, okay? I'm just... You better get some Rogaine from men or something.
Says the guy wearing a hat.
Listen, when you embrace it, everything starts to work out. That's coming from me. I know firsthand.
Before we let you go,
I'm sorry being put through this.
What? He's
just being a dick. You can ignore him.
No, I am not. I like to have fun with our guests, and I'm sure. Is this not one of the one of the more funner? It's not even a word.
It's not
funnest interviews you've ever had. Come on, Keith.
You guys agree.
You see this? We're having fun. Keith
He'll
loves
never
us.
be back.
Absolutely.
He'll not. Look, he's like, yeah, get me off this thing so I don't have to see you guys
by
anymore.
the way, you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas?
Oh,
Christmas.
Okay, Merry Christmas, by the way. You have any kids?
I don't.
Oh, okay. You have a wife?
Not yet.
All right. You have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
That's always good. I mean, you have to have somebody, for the holidays. Before we let you go, my question
and if you don't, that's okay, too.
Yeah, because Tyler's the single man. Anyways.
Where do you find this guy?
Find him. I'm the one who found him. Anyways.
God, I'm sorry.
My last question for you, and I think the last question we have for you is, What made you really get into writing? I mean, especially picking the sport from the NBA. You could choose from the NFL, the NHL, the MLB. What made you decide to choose basketball, and what pushed you to move from one place to another to achieve your goal, now create your own, your own website? I mean, and all the different things that you're doing. I think it's amazing. Reading a little bit about you, I think you went from one spot to the next spot to the next. It's an amazing story, and where you are and where you're going right now in the NBA and writing for the NBA. I think it's safe to say that you're moving into bigger and better places. So what made you pick the NBA, and what has really, drove you to do what you're doing now?
Oh, thanks, man. I see all the talk about bald and everything. Now you got to butter me up, right? It's no, listen. I'm teasing. No, listen. I appreciate it, and my whole journey started because I realized that at some point very early on, I loved basketball. That was my thing, and I wasn't going to become the next MJ or the next MJ, the next Chris Mullin, whoever. You got to figure out how else am I going to get involved, right? And for me, that was writing. For me, that was kind of expressing my thoughts via that and communicating. And social media this age, you have a great opportunity to, kind of stir debate and meet people. So that was kind of my foot in the door, and I've just kept going. The passion for the G League comes from the fact that, that's a total niche. There aren't a lot of people that follow the G League. You can kind of follow the stories before they happen. Danny Green is a great story. Long Island Zone. He was a G League guy. Now he's a 3-time champ, and those stories are exciting, and I enjoy following them. I enjoy writing about them, and that's why I keep going. It's a passion.
Danny Green has a great family, by the way. I met his father, and I've always wanted to get Danny on the show, and maybe one day we'll get him to come into the studio and actually do a live show with us. Danny's still in the NBA and doing as well, or even better than we ever expected him to last. From North Carolina, from Long Island to North Carolina to now the NBA, with all those Spurs teams and his jump from one place to the other. You got to give him a lot of credit. He's really achieved everything that he probably never thought he was going to achieve going into the NBA.
Keith, you brought up Chris Mullin too. He actually spoke at my high school. I think my junior year of high school. He was very powerful stories that he was telling. So definitely something unique with him as well.
That's kind of where I got my start. I was a young camper as a kid at the Chris Mullin camp and on Long Island, and it was a good time. His family is great. They brought me in as a counselor, and I followed them and all this stuff, and that really sparked the interest way back when. So yeah, it's his home for me.
So you're a Long Island native.
I am, Nassau County. Sure.
Oh, look at this. We got a Long Island native. So whenever you come out to Long Island, maybe you come and you do a show with us. You could smack Tyler like we do after the show,
I don't know about the smacking, but everything else sounds cool, man.
Anyways, Keith, tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
You can follow me on Twitter, Keith B. Schlosser, and obviously I got the newsletter. It's Keith Schlosser at Substack.com. You could find it by Googling Who's Got Next NBA G League.
We would love to get you on again. We'll talk more NBA with you, and I'm sure you like to talk other sports as well. So Speedy will reach out to you again. And again, as the season progresses to the end of the season, I would love to get you on again, Keith.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Look forward to it.
Long Island native. Did you hear that, Tyler?
What?
Long Island native. The writer of the Who's Got Next NBA G League newsletter, Keith.
I know you're from Long Island. You're right here.
I know I'm from Long Island. Did you know he was from Long Island?
Who's he?
Keith, you idiot. What
how you doing?
Oh, man. I wonder if his head's like, maybe he has CTE. Maybe he's been hit too many times to the head. Maybe I should take a hammer to the head to knock you back into place or something.
Did Vontas Burfict knock you out after he knocked out Antonio Brown?
Maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, maybe he.
Don't ask Keith that question.
Maybe
That's
you should.
rude.
Maybe
I was
you
asking
should,
you, not Keith.
Maybe you should take your shirt off and sit for the rest of the show, but shirt ass naked. How's that sound? What do you think?
All right.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. Sit still.
I don't
want it. I don't think anybody wants to see it.
I wasn't going to be on camera. I was just going to leave.
Keith, you see what I deal with? You think I'm crazy. I like to have fun. This guy over here, he's willing to take off his shirt. If you tell him to take off his pants, he'd probably do it on live air. So,
Tyler, hang in there, man. You guys were a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
I need alcohol. Send me alcohol, please.
Keith, thank you for joining us.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks again.